So would you say the Michael Sweet email was your life preserver?
That was it. That was what pulled me back from thinking, because again, as a young adult, you know, at 19, 20, 21,
right.
I'm thinking like, I got to make a living, I got to be support. Like I had a girlfriend at the time who we had talked about marriage. Like I'm thinking, okay, I got to go down that road. And if music's not, if I'm not in the midst of it right now, I have no idea how to make that happen. So you just go into that mode of like, how do you, like just do it, get a job.
Too far away from it, it's
hard to get back. It reminds me of, I always, and it's funny, I go back to Tom Hanks in Castaway with Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Like once it goes, yeah, it's done.
Rough.
So that was what absolutely brought me back, and that changed everything.
Right.
Changed everything. I got that gig, and we toured for 2 years. I did his 2 solo albums, and that was my first real experience being a professional musician touring the world and getting a paycheck.
Right.
You know? So yeah, it was incredible.
So speaking of touring the world, you are jumping off on a huge tour with Tears for Fears in April coming 2018.
Correct.
Talk about that a little bit on maybe how you got that gig and how it changed from day one till today.
I got that gig because the guitar player in the band is a guy named Charlton Pettis, who I had been doing session work for years before I got the gig. So we've known each other for years, and there was a very, very incredibly skilled drummer named Nick DiVirgilio, who was playing in Tears when Tears got back together. So when Roland and Kurt mended their ways and started working together again, it was Nick DiVirgilio, and he's an incredible drummer. But they weren't really playing that often, and as we know, if you're gonna work, you gotta work, and so you take what comes along. So they weren't working that often, and Nick had been offered a gig with Cirque du Soleil in Quebec. In Canada, and so he took it, thinking like that wouldn't interfere because they, you know, and lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, after he committed to 3 months of work, then yeah, that they started booking some work, and so they needed to find someone. He couldn't back out of that contract, so they were talking about it, and Charlton, who I'd worked with for years, said, "I know a guy," and that was it.
That's it, huh?
I didn't have to audition. They trusted him on his word.
Right. Well, that's what it's all about.
That was it. I'd done 3 years worth of studio sessions, and the other key thing, and I would really love this to be something that we talk about and that I can, you know, to admit, is that one of the biggest things was Charlton knew I could sing. So I sing a lot of harmonies in the band as well, and that was a huge...
You play guitar and sing in that band. That's crazy. I saw you playing guitar, and I was like, that's Jamie.
Yeah, I play guitar, I've done keyboard,
Nice.
Sing background vocals, it's whatever it takes, you know?
So what's the big difference between, say, almost 10 years now, till going on tour now? I mean, other than the hugeness of it.
I think the difference is those guys, they've always been an incredibly well-respected band, an iconic band, but at some point, if you're not really still actively trying to make something grow, it will settle like a snow globe. It'll settle at a certain beauty, at a certain level. And they kind of had settled. When I joined the band, they were at this place where they were just kind of settled. Like, of course, everybody knows Tears for Fears, but like, what's the difference between how you're going to get from a 3,000 seat theater to a 18,000 seat arena? Like, what has to happen? And they got involved with Gary Gersh, who's an incredibly, I mean, he's been in the business forever. He started Licorice Pizza back, if you remember, when we were kids. He signed Nirvana. Now he is now the vice president of AEG, which is, you know, one of the biggest. He manages a couple other huge bands, and so they signed with him a couple years ago, and he said, "You want to do this? Like, we're going to do this." And they said, "Absolutely." And so it's just been this incredible upward climb that has turned into the fact that within the last year, we just did Rock in Rio, 150,000 people, biggest gig I've ever played. We did Hyde Park with the Killers. We did Tel Aviv, and we've been all over the world. And we just did Royal Albert Hall, which was incredible. Like,
did you have flashes of Bonham?
Oh, absolutely. Bonham, Phil Collins, Cream, Ginger Baker. Like, it was incredible. When I first walked on the stage and looked out as they were still setting up the lights and the sound, I just kind of looked and I thought, this is surreal.
Wow, yeah.
My mom flew all the way out from Canada.
Wow, that's great.
71 years old, she flew all the way out from Canada to join me because I said, this is a once in a lifetime thing.
Wow.
So, and then we get ready, like I said, so it's all of this climb up to the fact that we leave in April, and we're playing, they're going a proper tour through London,
right.
Through England, through London, Dublin, Scotland, yeah, and then Western Europe, and they haven't been there in 15 years. So the demand for them is still really high.
Oh, huge.
I think what has happened is they're waking people up to the fact that people still remember and love their music. So.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, again, they're iconic, but their music and their songs, I mean, they're gonna last forever.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, it's tested, past the test of time, and it's gonna continue. So for them to be doing what they're doing is no surprise, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have been doing this. I mean,
absolutely.
Obviously, they got the right people behind them now, but man, they should have been doing this for the last 10
See, the
years.
interesting thing, and this is what I've said about that too, is that it all depends on what, I mean, they don't have to tour.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not touring because they have to make a living.
Right.
They're way past that.
Right.
They still want to make music together and bring that music to the fans that grew up listening and buying these records and love that music. And there's that exchange that you get between a crowd of people that, you know, save and get online and buy those tickets and come to the show.
Right.
There's that exchange that happens between the appreciation of what they want to hear, so you give it to them, and they're still at the place where all they want to do is give that to the fans.
Well, you know,
and when that stops, then that's when it should stop.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
I have a friend, a close friend. He's our age. He's never, ever in his whole life been to a concert, ever.
Okay.
His first concert was seeing Tears for Fears last year with Hall & Oates in San Jose.
Yep.
Dude's a Tears for Fears freak now. I mean, that
awesome.
was, I mean, it. You know, your first concert when you're 10.
Mine was when I was 10, and it was Kiss at the Forum.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine when you're 40-something, and he's like, he's singing all the songs.
Yeah.
So you guys rock this world, and he's 50.
That's,
you know,
that's what it's about.
So yeah, if you're touching somebody,
that's absolutely what it's about.
That's why you
do it. And I still like to do this, but I'll just share this too. But I still like to do this. I will take. I mean, you know, you arrive at the venue at like 2 o'clock, right? Show's not till 8 o'clock. You arrive at 2. You get there. You maybe have a bite to eat. They call you by 2:45, 3 o'clock. You go up, do sound check. You finish that by 4, and then you do nothing until you have to hit the stage at 8. So you start preparing by, let's say, 7. You know, I'll brush my teeth, I'll do my hair, I'll get in my stage clothes, whatever. But by 6, because they'll do doors at 5:30 or 6, I love to walk around the venue.
Oh yeah.
I'll go outside and I'll walk around outside. I'll walk in and out of rows, and I just to watch. And they have no idea who I am. I've got my baseball cap on, and not like I'm.
That's the best feeling, though.
But
just to be out
you
there.
get the energy, and you realize, man, these people have planned on this. They planned on it since they bought tickets, got online and bought tickets, then took the night off, got a babysitter, took off work, whatever it was, drove down here, had dinner before. This is an event for them. And if I just look at it like, oh, I gotta go, no, man. And that's what gets me fired up, is when I start to feel that energy and I see everybody, and there are people at the merchandise tables buying a Tears for Fears shirt.
Hits you like that. It's like, oh, okay.
This is it. So I have a job to do, and my job is to do the best I can and play those songs with every bit of energy that I possibly can emit.
So you have and you are going to play huge soccer arenas, basketball arenas, and you've done that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite sports/concert venues that you've played? Whether it's the aesthetics of it or the
For me,
amenities?
no, I got it. For me, and I don't know if it'll ever happen, to say that I would love to play Dodger Stadium would be a dream come true.
You haven't done that yet?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh.
I'm hoping, and this is not a foreshadowing to anything that's coming, I've often dreamed about a fact of Tears for Fears and Depeche Mode doing a tour together, which definitely could hit something like Dodger Stadium.
Just killed it last year.
Exactly.
Like
so,
ridiculous.
and there's been murmurings at different points of like how good that connection would be. But so I haven't played Dodger Stadium, which would be iconic for me because I've been to Dodger Stadium.
Right, that would be
300 times as a child, you know. But I can tell you this: we played the Forum. So again, being from LA, playing the Los Angeles Forum was huge for me because of the Lakers.
Were you a Lakers fan?
Huge Lakers fan. Like
favorite
I said,
Laker.
ready for this? Jamal Wilkes.
You know what?
What number? Do you know?
No, but I don't have the hat. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He was
52. That's it.
Yeah.
52.
Well, he was a Warrior before he was a Laker. He was one of my favorites.
The weirdest part is when I was in grade school and I was just obsessed with the Lakers. This is again the Lakers before. This was Magic Johnson, Jamal Wilkes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Byron Allen. Right? Or Byron Scott, Byron Scott.
Yeah.
Who was the James Worthy
Norm
for a
Nixon
little bit?
was
Norm
there
Nixon,
before, yeah.
number 10.
Yeah.
So that was the Lakers I grew up on. And again, but I wasn't even into basketball as much as baseball, but that was my secondary sport. So when baseball season wasn't happening, it was all about basketball. And I played basketball as a kid. But it was Jamal Wilkes, if you remember his free throw style.
Oh, his shot was...
He had this thing where he'd kind of come around and do this thing. And I used to try and mimic that. It's not, it didn't,
we all did.
I was like, how does he do? And then I just kind of became my thing, you know?
Is that how you shoot now, kind of?
Still. I think it sunk in.
Jamal was the bomb.
That was
I'm not gonna lie. I was a huge fan, a Warriors fan when I grew up, but he was one of them. And then obviously he went to the
So
Lakers
to play the Forum, which was, that's where and you look and there's the jerseys that are retired.
Banners and everything.
Yeah, that was it for me. That's a pinnacle. And then to do the Staples Center, we did 2 nights at the Staples Center this past summer, where they play now, and to see Kobe's number, you know, all that. It's huge. So, no, man, it's a trip. I'm really, really grateful and really blessed.
Wow.
It's been
it's
incredible.
Full circle for you, man. I mean,
absolutely.
You've been here your whole life. You grew up with all the sports. You've seen all the concerts. You've actually played on the Strip. I mean, you were the California kid.
Absolutely. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So let me ask you 3 questions. You know, since we're talking old school and we're talking, you know, back in the day, 3 questions. Answer them the best that you can.
Okay.
Simple.
Yeah.
Favorite cereal of all time?
Breakfast cereal?
Breakfast cereal.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
That's it.
Best Saturday morning cartoon?
This is going way back. The New Shmoo Review. Do you know it?
Oh, yes, I know it, dude.
Shmoo, man.
Oh, my God.
Shmoo.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, you better Google that.
Google it up. The New Shmoo. Look up Shmoo.
If you weren't born in the 60s and 70s, you don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I couldn't tell if he was a ghost or a walrus or a something. Yeah, this pear-shaped thing with whiskers and...
Oh, my God. I got to give you points on that one.
The New
I
Shmoo.
didn't think anybody knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Best TV show theme song of all time?
MASH.
Ooh.
Always, still to this day, can give me goosebumps.
Drop
and kind of
you to the knees,
and make me cry.
Still.
Yeah. I think the actual title for this for the show is called "Suicide is Painless."
Right. That was actually my favorite show back in the day. I still watch it on whatever.
It was. I grew up watching it because it was one of my dad's favorite shows.
Hawkeye Pierce was fictitious hero of mine.
Yeah. No, the show is brilliant, and that theme song made all the. I'm gonna say it's a tie, close tie, but I'll say it was MASH just over the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, see?
At the end of every Incredible Hulk, when David Banner was walking away, and there's the piano, that sad piano song that's at the end of it. But I tend to gravitate toward, like, I like stuff that makes you want to, like your heart's falling out and you're crying, going, you know.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Thanks so much, man,
for doing
this. I mean,
this is my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I mean, we've been trying to pull this together. We've been busy, and we actually pulled it off today.
Yep.
We have Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow. Just to let you know, this is on Super Bowl weekend.
Yep.
The Rams didn't make it, almost. They got took down, but again, man, thank you so much,
My
brother.
pleasure, man.
And,
it's so good to see you.
For those of you out there, again, if you see this within the next, how long are you guys going on? 6 months? Year?
Well, it's gonna be a year, easily.
So again, Europe, all your European peoples, Western Europe and beyond, keep an eye out for Jamie with Tears for Fears. Again, This is High Tops to Hi-Hats. Jamie Wollam. Aloha.
Thank you, guys.